It's clear that the era of 40 years of rapid economic growth has passed. The days of rough, extensive growth, where big waters breed big fish, have given way to high-quality development inspired by Drucker's management science. Subtle clues, like a hidden thread running for 1,000 miles, have pointed to a supply shock. Demand is shrinking, and expectations are weakening. The macroeconomy is the best annotation of our times. The difficulties we face are bound to be unprecedented. Even though the government work report has set a GDP growth target of around 5% for 2024, and has approved as much as 1.49 trillion yuan in special bonds in the first half of this year to provide support. We have always been meditating, so to speak, in the arena of investment-driven growth and monetary easing. The shift from the 6 stabilities to the 6 guarantees with just a single word change further highlights the dramatic impact of the economic downturn. At the same time, the powerful shocks and disruptions from geopolitics, along with the potential for collateral damage, what could be called the Crimea effect, and the policy-level prisoner's dilemma, will, to some extent, increase the uncertainty of future development. The era of systemic reboot is destined to be Dickensian. This is the best of times, and also a modern-day version of the worst of times. I remember Charlie Munger once said that the macro environment is something we have to accept, but it's at the micro level where we can actually make a difference. In these fragile times, looking back at the past, learning from what has come before, and seeking the strength for recovery and the drive for growth becomes especially important. No matter which stage of life we are in, we should cherish that period of time and fulfill the responsibilities that come with it. Go with the flow, don't get lost in the past, and don't become overly obsessed with anticipating the future. That's all life needs to be. No matter what struggles or challenges we're facing, maybe we really only have one choice, even if it's painful. But we still have to find happiness and believe in the future. Most people, when discussing economic recovery and growth drivers, tend to focus on traditional economic concepts like productivity, production relations, and factors of production. But I place more importance on the value and role of people, starting from a humanistic perspective. I believe we should pay attention to the humanistic values and human nature in economic and social development. Emphasizing the study and promotion of business ethics and business civilization will help advance the enlightenment and progress of China's business society and business culture. Just as Max Weber explored in The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, human weaknesses may offer short-term opportunities for corporate profit. But truly great companies are those that let the best of human nature shine. They warm people's hearts and stand the test of time. Bezos once said that being kind is more important than being smart, and that we should find and cultivate the lifelong value of those who are steadfast. Since I started my business in 2007, I have believed that our existence has value. Business people are not necessarily selfish. Altruism can also be profitable and lead to success. Ordinary people without connections can also succeed in entrepreneurship and change their fate. I believe in the greatness of human nature. Investing in goodness is, in itself, a warm, inspiring, and meaningful thing to do. Give it your all to help ordinary people become better versions of themselves. At the same time, grow alongside them, so you don't waste this life. When you do the right thing, and do it well, success and making money are just byproducts. Private initiatives are also a form of public good, uncovering the brilliance and potential within ordinary people. By growing together into better versions of ourselves, this kind of flow is so powerful that it propels each of us to improve our lives. The role of an entrepreneur is to use persistence to ignite the lamp of diligence and goodness in every heart. Even though the light may be faint in the darkness, it is enough to illuminate the path ahead for each of us. I have an older brother figure who is an outstanding financier. He led 2 major state-owned banks to go public and turn them into leading brands in the industry. He once said that entrepreneurs should always uphold and practice the principles of business for good, investment for good, and technology for good. Hegel once said that human weaknesses remain unchanged for thousands of years, but humanity also has its brilliance. The key is how to control those weaknesses and let the light of human nature shine to the fullest. It's like a martial arts master. There is always someone better out there, and the true number one is always striving for more. It's not about how many people you can knock down, but about how many people you can help up. Being altruistic will ultimately benefit yourself. Enlightening yourself will eventually lead to enlightening others. In just a few words, this reveals the resilience of conducting business with virtue and integrity. During the course of developing their careers, entrepreneurs may care more about the journey of personal growth. As the saying goes, act in harmony with profit, grow strong in harmony with the way, and love others. Those who love others will be loved in return. Those who respect others will be respected in return. If you always look at the world from a positive perspective and draw nourishment from it, The mutual exchange of kindness will nurture both body and mind, and both life and career are bound to be vibrant and full of color. This is the pure beauty that comes from seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Mr. Chun Chi-wei from Asia Business Capital once discussed with me, and we both agreed that today's Chinese society is in great need of an ideological enlightenment and progressive movement similar to the European Renaissance. The modern Western Industrial Revolution, as well as the development of modern politics, civil society, and the military, were all built upon the foundation of the Renaissance. The United States, with its powerful revival of human nature and its pursuit of a scientific, beautiful, and rational world, also underwent a society-wide progressive mobilization in the 1960s. However, due to historical limitations, this movement was not deep or thorough enough. As a result, today's social divisions and chaos have been left behind. It is also precisely because of these historical limitations that social inequality in distribution has arisen. With a high Gini coefficient, scholars represented by Thomas Piketty and his Capital in the 21st century have begun to question the rationality of the economy and the system, and social development has increasingly lost its stabilizing anchor. Society has fallen into the turbulence of a pendulum swing, but we cannot deny these advances. The forces of revival and awakening truly ensured half a century of prosperity. Only by understanding and deeply perceiving the essence of human nature and respecting the power of its brilliance can we hope to build a modern national governance system. Only then can we truly achieve a leap in our ability to govern, develop real strength, and project it effectively. This is precisely the driving force of the times behind the push for common prosperity within the context of a grand narrative. It's worth reflecting on the fact that in our journey toward becoming a modern nation, we were once stuck in the paradigm of the May 4th movement in the early 20th century. Our process of civilization and modernization was long mired in a difficult, arduous search. For the Chinese dragon to truly soar, it desperately needs the spark of modern civilization and the illumination of humanistic care, like a luminous pearl lighting the way. The realization of the Chinese dream also truly requires the skillful rendering of realism. In this sense, our civilization and social development have fallen into a kind of intellectual stagnation. While the economy has developed rapidly, social civilization has progressed as well. However, major social issues such as business ethics, cultivating a civilized society, and establishing civil society have lagged far behind economic growth, to the point where some people are calling out loudly, "Slow down, let your soul catch up with your steps." We are now in an era of stock competition. Only by completely abandoning zero-sum thinking and truly standing from the perspective of a community with a shared future for mankind, while also learning from history, while not being burdened by the weight of history, looking toward the future, without simply falling into the Thucydides trap, emphasizing the right to development, and truly being willing to help, benefit, and respect others, daring to endure hardship, not afraid of suffering losses, and even taking joy in hard work. Only by finding joy in hardship can we enjoy the sweetness that comes after struggle, reap the dividends of peaceful development, and benefit from technological progress, enjoy the benefits of cultural prosperity, achieve renewal and development of social spirit and business ethics, and break free from the historical cycle of the rise and fall of great powers. People in every era have their own unique hardships. If you can face suffering with a certain grace when you're young, future generations can grow into strong individuals, transforming from the old suffering China into the new era that belongs to you and me. This grace in the face of hardship becomes a burning fire in our hearts. A kind of inner strength? It's clearly evident in every generation of entrepreneurs, and in every citizen. That is our true ideal. The nation is the smallest country. The country is made up of millions of families, entrepreneurs, and ordinary people with a deep sense of national belonging. Only by calmly moving forward on the path of our rise can we truly reach a field of hope. We all deeply love this land beneath our feet, and that's why we embrace it so passionately. Even if it hurts, there are no regrets in this life.